This ice doesn't belong to Greenland. What happens here reshapes coastlines thousands of miles away. Beneath this frozen land lies enough ice to change the world as we know it. If Greenland melts, global sea levels rise by more than 20 feet. That's not a warning or a theory, it's physics. And when this ice begins to move, the future of the United States moves with it. If all of Greenland's ice were to melt, sea levels would rise by more than 20 feet. That single change would redraw America's coastline forever. Cities like Miami would face constant flooding. Parts of New York would be underwater. Communities along the Gulf Coast would slowly disappear. This isn't about distant ice or melting glaciers. It's about homes, streets, ports, and millions of people living along the American coast. What happens in Greenland doesn't stay in the Arctic. It reaches the United States faster than most people realize. Greenland is not just a remote island covered in snow. It holds the second largest ice sheet on Earth, covering nearly 80% of its surface. In some regions, the ice is more than 2 miles thick, heavier than entire mountain ranges. This ice didn't form quickly. It accumulated over hundreds of thousands of years, as snowfall slowly compressed into solid layers. Each layer traps ancient air, dust, and climate records, preserving a detailed history of the planet. The sheer weight of this ice presses the land beneath it downward, reshaping the ground below. Greenland is not simply frozen land. It is a massive, dynamic system that influences oceans, weather patterns, and the stability of coastlines across the world. Greenland's ice sheet isn't just a distant giant, it's changing right now. Rivers of meltwater run across its surface, carving deep channels into the ice. Each summer, massive chunks break off and crash into the ocean, creating dramatic icebergs. Scientists have measured Greenland losing over 250 billion tons of ice every year. That's enough to fill hundreds of thousands of Olympic swimming pools annually. The melting is accelerating, driven by rising global temperatures. What was once stable and permanent is now in motion. And every piece of ice that slips into the sea contributes to rising water levels that will eventually reach distant shores, including the United States. The transformation is already underway, and it's happening faster than many people realize. The melting of Greenland's ice doesn't stay in the Arctic. The freshwater flowing into the ocean disrupts major ocean currents, including the Gulf Stream, which plays a critical role in regulating the climate of the United States. Changes to these currents can intensify storms, alter rainfall patterns, and even shift temperatures across the continent. Coastal cities like Miami, New York, and New Orleans are directly at risk. Rising seas combined with stronger storms put millions of people in danger and threaten vital infrastructure. What happens thousands of miles away in Greenland will eventually arrive at American shores. This is not a distant problem, it's a national concern, unfolding right now. The United States is connected to Greenland in ways most people don't even realize. America's coastline is on the front line. Even a small rise in sea levels can flood streets, homes, and entire neighborhoods. Miami, already struggling with high tides, would face daily flooding. New York's subway system and waterfront would be at risk. Louisiana could lose thousands of square miles of land along the Gulf Coast. These are not distant scenarios, they are projections based on current melting rates. Rising seas threaten ports, highways, and millions of people who call these coastal regions home. Every piece of ice that slips into the ocean contributes to this growing danger. What happens in Greenland eventually reaches the United States, shaping cities, economies, and lives in ways we are only beginning to understand. Beneath Greenland's massive ice sheet, scientists have discovered a hidden world. Using satellites and ice-penetrating radar, they've mapped rivers, canyons, and valleys carved over millennia. In some areas, ancient soil and sediments lie preserved under miles of ice, containing clues about Earth's climate history. These discoveries reveal that Greenland was once green, with forests, lakes, and flowing rivers. Every finding helps scientists understand how the ice sheet formed, how it melts, and how quickly changes can ripple across the globe. What lies beneath the ice is not just frozen ground, it's a record of the planet's past and a warning for the future. The hidden landscape beneath Greenland is already shaping the science that predicts what's coming for the United States and the rest of the world. Long before it was covered in ice, Greenland was a very different place. Thousands of years ago, the land was green and fertile, with rivers, lakes, and even forests. Evidence from soil samples and fossilized plants shows that animals and vegetation once thrived here. The climate was warmer, and sea levels were higher than today. This ancient Greenland reminds us that ice sheets are not permanent, they grow and shrink with the planet's climate. Understanding this past helps scientists predict how quickly the ice can melt in the future. What seems frozen and unchanging now was once alive and thriving, a stark contrast to the white, icy landscape we see today. The lessons from Greenland's warm past are already guiding predictions for our planet's future. The United States isn't just watching Greenland out of curiosity. What happens in this icy land has global consequences, and America has a stake in them. The meltwater from Greenland affects ocean currents that influence weather across the U.S., from storms on the east coast to droughts in the Midwest. Beyond climate, Greenland sits atop vast untapped resources, minerals, rare earth elements, and potential shipping routes opening as ice retreats. Governments and scientists alike monitor these changes closely, because what happens in Greenland can impact national security, trade, and the economy. The U.S. is paying attention because the ice sheet's fate is tied directly to the nation's future, and the decisions made today could shape the country for generations to come. Scientists warn that Greenland's ice sheet is approaching a tipping point, a moment when the melt could become unstoppable. Once certain thresholds are crossed, the ice begins melting faster and faster, feeding a cycle that is difficult, if not impossible, to reverse. Even small increases in temperature can trigger large-scale ice loss. What was once stable becomes fragile, and the consequences ripple across the globe. Rising seas, stronger storms, and disrupted ocean currents are just the beginning. The point of no return is not a distant possibility, it could be reached within decades. And once it is, the changes to coastlines, weather patterns, and human life are permanent. Greenland is a warning, and the clock is ticking. The question is no longer if Greenland will change, it's how prepared we are for the consequences. Every iceberg that slips into the ocean, every river of meltwater that flows from the ice sheet, moves closer to the United States. Coastal cities, communities, and millions of lives are connected to what happens thousands of miles away. This is not a distant problem, it's a global reality, and it's unfolding right now. The future of America's coastlines, its weather, and its people is tied to the fate of Greenland. What melts in Greenland doesn't stay in Greenland. It travels across oceans, reshaping the world we know, and leaving a lasting mark on generations to come. The time to understand it, watch it, and act, is now.